Honored Presidium, dear panelists and participants, I welcome all of you, and especially I greet the guests who came over to Israel from abroad in these difficult days. In Hebrew we say, Kol hakavod lachem, and in English we say, Kudos, bless you. I'm also honored to speak in this historic event of launching the Israeli Center of International Arbitration. And in my talk today, as you have heard, I shall speak on international mediation and arbitration in the past, in the present, and in the future. Let us start with the past. In the beginning of 2022, a new book was published, written by Dr. Michael Shinazi, with the title, The Three Ages of International Commercial Arbitration. For the sake of full disclosure and good order, I must mention that Dr. Shinazi was one of my 4 legal aides in the Supreme Court of Israel. In his book, he writes that he decided to concentrate on the history of the new institutions of the international commercial establishments, and especially on the ICC. He starts his description in the late 18th century and divides the history of the modern international arbitration into 3 periods. A, the age of aspiration from the 18th century till 1920. B, the age on institutionalism from 1920 till 1950. And C, the age of autonomy from 1950 till the present times. He admits, however, that commercial arbitration were already known in ancient times, and points out that 18 articles and books had been written about those institutions in ancient Egypt, Greece, and Rome. Yet, he does not mention, probably due to language problems, the fact that it looks like as if the first arbitration establishment as such was formed in Jewish law and mentioned in the Mishnah and the Talmud, written by our sages. There we can find discussions about Bוררות Zabla arbitration, whereby each party chooses an arbitrator and the two choose a third arbitrator who acts as chair. Then questions come up, for instance, whether the parties need to agree on the person who was chosen as the third arbitrator or not. To sum up this point and the past, the Jewish people were the first who invited commercial arbitration in the world. Now I shall move to the present. I would like to focus on 2 aspects: the impact of the internet on international arbitration and the effects of the COVID pandemic and the wars that broke out in the world in the last few years, including the war which is going on in the Middle East right now. Due to those 2 phenomena, it was and it is sometimes difficult to meet face-to-face, and thus virtual arbitration procedures have been developed and rules of international arbitration organizations were adopted to facilitate virtual arbitration or hybrid arbitrational meetings. I shall not elaborate any more about this subject due to constraints of time, but I shall speak a little bit about the future. I see 3 trends in the world and in Israel in this aspect. A, in the framework of worldwide arbitration institutions, more a la carte arbitration provisions are allowed. B, more and more new international industries, companies, and networks prefer mediation and arbitration clauses rather than using old conventional legal proceedings. C, more and more countries include and adopt international conventions into their domestic legal systems in order to facilitate international commercial arbitration and mediation. So did also Israel, which joined this trend and adopted lately in 2023, last year, a new international commercial arbitration law and an amendment to the regular arbitration law, which adapts the Singapore Convention on the international settlement agreements resulting from mediations. These two new laws, which will be discussed later on today in the panels, paved the way for handling international commercial arbitration and mediation in Israel. More than that, it proves that we are optimistic for the future after the war ends. So, hopefully, as we are pioneers in the ancient world in the terms of presenting arbitration institutions, I hope we shall succeed in the near future with your help to take a significant part in the upcoming development and we hope that with our natural sources and expertise, we will succeed in this matter. And here I want to mention that Israel is known for its high legal standards, its very good court system, the knowledge of different comparative law systems, and for its high-tech industries and expertise. To sum up, let's us hope for peace and for the success of this new institution. Thank you.